Hi everybody, Leah here with your feedback for today's distant Reiki session. Normally I just post the feedback in the group. However, I feel like this feedback's going to relate to probably a whole lot more people than in the healing email group. So I'm going to post this on my page as well. So if you're not yet receiving the monthly emails, they're free. Every month they're based on a different topic to basically give you activities and ways of creating a better life and living life to the fullest, and letting go of things that no longer serve you, of blocks or things holding you back. So if you're not yet receiving the emails, just go to leahloyd.com to subscribe to that. And the topic for April is Be Confidently You. And I find this is a big one for a lot of people, that we worry about who we are, if we're good enough, if we're doing the right things, if we're making the right decisions. And a lot of that comes down to what other people think of us as well, judgments and opinions of other people. And so for the intentions for today's Reiki session, that was what a lot of people put, that they wanted to let go of the judgments of other people and just be confident in who they are. So in my experience, I've done a lot of work on myself over the last year, and a lot of that was establishing that relationship with myself, with, my soul, my inner guidance, and trusting in that completely, to know that I am worthy of great relationships and, great experiences, and to be who I am, to do my healing work confidently, to not worry about the people who like to bag it out or, put it down, or to just know that I'm worthy of unconditional love. And in order to attract that into my life, I had to give it to myself first, and I had to believe that completely. And that's not always an easy thing to do. It's not something that a lot of us are taught to do growing up, and it's a difficult thing to then bring back into your life. So the first thing that came up today for in the distant Reiki session and for feedback was to make the decision to commit fully to that relationship with yourself, with your soul, with your inner guidance, whatever you want to call that, but your who you are completely as a person. And it's going to be the most important relationship in your life. So don't expect that you will do, a couple of little days of meditation, or, just do these monthly Reiki sessions, and that you're going to create that relationship, because this is a relationship that you need to nurture and love and commit to. And so if you imagine it as, a child, how you would love your child, that unconditional love and that nurturing, or it might be how you love in a new relationship, that you give it your all and you commit to it, and you give it the time together to get to know each other, and to understand each other and to love each other unconditionally. And so you need to give that to this relationship that you have with yourself, in order to then be able to attract that in other relationships in your life. So the most important thing you can do while you're working on this relationship and building this and creating this complete belief in yourself, and it's trusting in that, trusting that you are good enough, that you're worthy, that you are deserving of unconditional love, and that you are able to make the decisions that are right for you. And the more you connect to your soul and commit to that relationship, then you'll be able to call on that guidance whenever you need it. It will become something that's not, hard work to sit down and kind of listen to that guidance. It'll just be there all the time. And so building that relationship, knowing that you can have that complete trust in yourself, is so important. And once you develop that, it'll be with you forever. And that will guide you to make good decisions, and you'll start to live your life in alignment with your higher purpose. And really that's the aim of the game. That's what we're here for. So, and when you trust in yourself completely, then it doesn't matter what other people think, because they can't shake that. So really, today, just spend a few moments just really sitting down and making that commitment to yourself that, you know what, I love you unconditionally. I trust in you and your ability to make the best decisions, and I will listen to you and act on that guidance. And when you do that, you'll start to see changes in your life, and things will start to just flow a bit better, and you will attract healthier relationships and supportive friends, rather than those who want to bring you down or stop you from reaching your full potential and shining and being the person you're meant to be. So through doing this, you will begin to let go of what other people think. And there will always be people who are jealous of you. There will always be people who have judgments of you and opinions about who you are and how you live your life and whether you're doing it well enough or whether you're making the right decision or the wrong decision. But those opinions are about them. They're not about you. And they're based on their experiences and their fears and their values and belief systems that have been drilled into them throughout their life. And so it's always a good thing to listen to what's being said and just, check in and go, okay, well, is there something here that I need to learn? Is there something here that's helpful that will, that I can take on board and lead me, help me to reach my full potential? Yes, great, take it on, listen to it, make changes that are healthy and support you. But if it's not, just go, okay, well, thank you for the input, but that's not something that I need to do right now, because I can decide what's best for me. And by doing that, you're setting really healthy boundaries too. You're not reacting to things in a negative way, but you're processing it and you're taking on board what you need, but then you let go of the stuff that you don't need to take on board, and you won't second guess yourself. And because sometimes when we try to do that, then we spend the next 3 weeks going, oh goodness, I hope I didn't offend them, I hope I've done the right thing, maybe I'm doing the wrong thing. We start to question ourselves. And so by creating this relationship that you trust completely with yourself, then you will be able to know that you're taking on what you need, but it's safe to let go of what you don't, and you can be okay with that. And so you don't need to waste any more of your time worrying about that or stressing that you're offending people, because as you set those healthy boundaries, you will notice that the people who should be in your life, who are meant to be there, who are supportive, they will respect your boundaries and hopefully be inspired by the changes you're making as well, to perhaps make some healthy changes themselves. And if they're not, well then, you'll just find that person becomes a bit distant, and that's okay as well. It's all right, because, perhaps their purpose in your life has been served and they don't need to be in it anymore, and you don't need to worry about that. So one of the intentions for today's healing was not getting caught up in gossipy behavior or conversations or ego-driven jealousy. And so when you're speaking, when you're having a conversation with someone, just notice how you feel, because when you're doing this work, those conversations that you would have had previously that, you just didn't really, you just had them, you didn't think much more about it. But as you're doing this work and you're growing and changing, I guess, your ideals and your values and your beliefs, you'll start to notice that when you say things that you would have said previously that were okay, now you're going to be like, that doesn't feel quite right. That feels a bit off. And you'll notice that perhaps those things are no longer in alignment with who you are and who you want to be. And so when you notice that, really, just be aware and go, okay, well, maybe this conversation isn't really who I am now or who I want to be now. And so maybe I should not really join in on that. And it's not that you have to... you don't have to put those beliefs onto anybody else. You don't need to try and change the behavior of anyone else. Simply remove yourself from that conversation, or just say things when you speak and when you act. Make sure it feels right for you and it's in alignment with who you are now and who you're trying to be. And if it's not, then just politely excuse yourself from that behavior. But don't then put judgments on them for having that either, because we're all at different stages of where we're at and our growing and learning. So keep your focus on you and who you want to be and what you want to do, and just work on you, and letting go of other people's opinions of you, but at the same time not putting yours onto them either, and setting those really healthy boundaries. And you'll see that when you do that, then you will start to just attract other people into your life, and people who are kind of at the same place you're at, and trying to make the same healthy changes, and being a better person. And it's not always easy, and we can fall back into those traps really easily, and we all do it. But it's recognizing that and going, okay, how can I do this differently? How can I react next time? And taking that moment to just be still and be quiet and check in with yourself before you react or respond can be a really important way of doing this, of making this growth happen, and making those healthy changes. So the best way to be confidently you is to love you unconditionally. And so that is the most important thing to work on now, is if there's things about yourself that you don't like, if it is being jealous of others, or hiding back with fear, or pretending to be someone else so that you're accepted by others. If there's things like that you want to change, then now is a great time to start making those changes. 2018 is a really important year for that. So the opportunity is here now, and you need to grab it and run with it, and nurture that relationship with you, so that you can love yourself completely, trust in yourself completely, so that when things happen, it doesn't shake that belief in you, because that is so strong that the universe has got your back and it's supporting you, and that everything that's happening is to learn and grow and move forward in life, to live your life to your fullest potential and do what you're here to do. So when you find yourself shying away from opportunities, or putting yourself out there, or just being who you are, just check in and see why that is. Maybe there's something you want to change first before you put yourself out there, and that's fine. It might be that it's just coming from a place of fear, so that's when you use your tapping to process those fears and old beliefs and make those healthy changes. So I hope that helps. I'd love to hear back from you about how this relates to you, and what changes you're going to make, or how you are now going to put yourself out there and be you, and be confident in who you are, and love yourself unconditionally, and just shine and be the person you are here to be. So thank you very much for those who join me for these sessions. I love doing them, and I hope you get a lot out of them. I'm really enjoying the feedback that I'm getting so far. So please always send through those messages and things, because it's really nice to know that these emails help you, and that you're making these great changes in your life. So thank you, and I'll see you again next month. Bye.